So if you clicked on this video, then I'm assuming that you're finally ready to start making some real money with your dropshipping store or brand. Or maybe you've already tried TikTok ads, spent some money, and nothing worked. Either way, you're in the right place. Because today I'm going to show you the exact settings that I use to launch TikTok ads that actually convert. Settings that let me scale winning creatives fast while protecting my budget when something doesn't actually hit. But before we get into the step-by-step setup, there's one thing that you need to know. You need to have 3 creatives ready to go. You see, TikTok is a creative first platform, and the algorithm doesn't really care about your budget if your creative sucks. You need to be testing visuals, hooks, and angles, not just targeting. That's why when we launch with 3 creatives right out of the gate. So have those prepped and ready before you continue with the rest of this video, because I'm about to walk you through screen by screen exactly how I set up and run TikTok campaigns that convert. So let's get into it. All right, so let's get started with TikTok ads. So the first thing you want to do is you can go to Google and just search up TikTok ads. The first link that pops up should be this, TikTok for Business. You can click on that, and then all you're going to do is click Get Started down below. So you can do a couple things. You can create a business account that you want to use specifically for ads, or you can just sign in with TikTok. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so once you create an account and then you fill in very brief amount of actual information regarding your brand, again, you just follow exactly what TikTok is asking you for, you'll be brought to a page similar to this. Now, before we get into anything, let's just go to the top and let's click on the dashboard, and we'll leave this site here. Don't worry about that because we'll go ahead and we'll start creating in a second here. So first off, you're going to need to set up a couple things. You're going to need to add some billing info, set up payment details, and then you can create your first ad. For this example, I'm not going to be doing any of that. Then we can scroll over to campaign, and here you can see these are where all of your campaigns will be, then your ad groups and your ads. So there's 3 different levels to an actual campaign. Obviously, you have the campaign level. This is the overall level. And then you have your ad group level. So a lot of times people will have different ad groups, and then you can do something called an ABO or ad set budget optimization. It's simply just a type of campaign that you can run where basically your budget is spent at the ad set level as opposed to the campaign level, but that's a little bit more advanced. We don't really need to get into any of that. So don't really worry too much about that. And then the ad level, well, that's just where your creatives are going to be. So moving on, what we're going to do, again, we're in the campaign section. We're going to go to the top left and we're just going to hit create. Once it loads, it's going to ask you your objective for your campaign. Now, oftentimes people will select something like traffic or reach at the start just to give their pixel some information about their brand. What I'm going to say is that is a complete waste of money. Do not do that. The reason being is because whatever you tell it to do, it will do. So if you want traffic for your website, well, TikTok's only going to push it to people that are going to click, but they don't really have intent to buy. That's why I always go for sales or lead gen. Again, it depends on what type of company and business you actually have. Because I'm selling products, I'm going to go with sales. Now, in terms of this, if you have a TikTok shop, highly recommend drive sales using your TikTok shop. But in this case, I just have a website. So what we're going to do here is we're going to leave it on Smart Plus campaign, and then you can change your campaign name, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to name it test. Just make sure that you actually keep everything organized. The names are just for organization purposes, not like any of your customers are going to see it. Then you can go ahead and click continue. Okay, so scrolling down here, your optimization goal. This is essentially you're telling TikTok what goal you actually want to achieve when your customers click on your website. And for us, in our case, we want conversions. Again, don't go for landing page views and don't go for clicks. You want to keep it on conversion. Data connection. So this is going to be your pixel. Okay, so for those of you guys that don't know what a pixel is essentially what connects your TikTok ad account to your Shopify store. Now, I'm not going to go through how to set up and install your TikTok pixel. There's plenty of YouTube tutorials online, but essentially in a very brief way, you just go to your Shopify store, you search up in the app library for TikTok, download it, and then you just follow the installation prompts that TikTok will actually give you so you can connect your pixel to your TikTok ad account. Optimization event, obviously because we don't have our pixel set up, then we can't actually do anything. But what you would do is you'd select your pixel, and then you'd again just select your optimization, set a target CPA. We're going to leave that off. Don't worry about that right now. Audience targeting. Here's what you want to understand about targeting. A lot of people operate under the impression that, oh, I sell skincare products, so I need to target these people with this interest and that interest, and that's completely wrong, because ultimately at the end of the day, you are just quite literally guessing which customers with which interests are going to engage with your product the most. When truthfully, at the end of the day, TikTok knows much better than you because they have tons of data. So all you're going to do here is you're just going to update the locations that you sell in. So if I sell in Canada and the United States, I'm just going to go ahead and add the United States here, and then that's it. Languages, you can keep it to all, or you can select English. Placements, obviously keep it automatic. User comment, yes, keep that on. Turn user downloading off and allow video sharing. Now your daily budget, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set this to $100. Do not worry, you're not going to be spending $100 per day, and I'll get into that in a minute, but you need to send it at $100 so you can actually spend enough to get some data. What you will be spending, I will say this right now, is you're going to be spending around $50 a day, and just in a second I'm going to tell you what the game plan is. So let's go here. Planned start time. What you're going to want to do for the start time is you're going to want to set it for the next day at midnight. So we'll go to 0000 and click OK. The reason why you want to do this is because at the start of a new day, you're going to start spending your $100 budget. Now around noon, it should have spent half of your budget, or $50. What you're going to do then is you're going to go in and you're going to look at the data that you've been provided. If you have, based on your KPIs, good data, then you're going to keep the ad running. What I like to do typically is if it has a high click-through rate, and then you go to your website and there's a good amount of add to carts, a good amount of people that reach checkout, then typically I let the ad run for the day. But if you see that the click-through rate's low and just people aren't spending time on your ad and they're scrolling fast and it really just isn't getting a lot of engagement or clicks, then I'll kill it and I'll redo this entire campaign and upload 3 new creatives. Okay, time zone does not matter. Don't worry about that. Again, if we scroll down here to advanced settings, you do want to make sure that it's on all day and not select specific time. Anyways, moving on. Use TikTok account to deliver Spark ads. So basically what this is asking you is, do you want to use your actual TikTok account to deliver the ads, or do you want to use just a random ad account where you can update the profile picture, and essentially if a viewer were to try and swipe to your profile, they'd just be brought to your website. What I do, if you're a dropshipping store, typically I'd make sure that this is off. If you're an actual brand that's trying to build a following, then I'd keep this on and use your actual account so users can engage with your account and actually follow it, so you can build a brand and a more trustworthy and loyal customer base. So scrolling down, you want to go and create your custom identity. What you're going to want to do here is enter your display name. So let's just say I'm operating under Cecil Skin, and then you can go ahead and you can upload your logo for your company. And that's what you do there. Destination URL. This is just going to be the URL of your website. So you can go ahead and get the URL for your Shopify store and enter it here. Okay, scrolling down, this is where you're actually going to upload your creatives. Now remember what I said earlier in the video, you want to upload at least 3 creatives. So there's a few things that you can do here. Number one, you can have completely different angles and completely different hooks for each video, or sometimes I enjoy just having 3 different hooks but the same content within the video. Typically what this does for me is it tells me, okay, maybe 2 of the hooks aren't that good, but one of the hook is good because customers are staying for a lot longer and they're clicking to my website a lot more frequently. So you're going to go ahead and add in your creatives right here. Then for your ad text, this is basically just going to be your caption. So as you can see, I'm just going to type, this is my caption. What you want to do here is you want to have some type of call to action, like free shipping over $50, or maybe you just want to say something that invokes an emotion within the customer or brings out a desire that they have. But as you can see here, I've typed in this is my caption, and if we scroll over here, you can see that this is my caption is displayed on the actual TikTok interface here. Awesome. Scrolling down, your call to action, you are going to want to deselect all of these, and you're going to want to choose a select few. I like to typically choose shop now and order now, but choose whatever you want. Just make sure that it's in line with your brand. So you don't want to be selecting learn more if you're selling a product, right? Maybe if you're generating leads, you might want to do something like that, but not if you're selling a physical product. You always want to say shop now, buy now, order now, things of that nature. And that's it. Those are all of the steps that I use for my TikTok campaigns. Then all you're going to want to do is click publish. It's not going to let me publish it because I haven't attached a pixel, a website, or any creatives, but you're going to want to click publish, and then it's going to go into a process of pending approval basically. And once it is approved, TikTok is going to let you know your campaign is active and it'll start running whenever it's scheduled, which should be the next day at midnight. Now, if we come back to the campaign section up here, you can see that I have one draft campaign. You should see that it's not a draft and it's actually just like pending approval, or you'll see in the status section what it says up here. Then you'll see the budget that you've set for it should be at the campaign level. Then you'll see how much you spent. That's going to be the cost. Your cost per click, it's the average cost of each click to a specified destination. So how much does it cost every time one customer clicks on your link to your website? CPM is basically how much does it cost per 1,000 views. So you want this to be as low as possible, because if your CPM is, let's say, $60, well, it's going to cost a lot more to reach 1,000 people. So typically you want this to be as low as possible. In terms of impressions, this is just the amount of people that have seen your ad. Clicks is pretty self-explanatory. It's the amount of people that have clicked onto your website. CTR is your click-through rate. Now you can see what the description is. Percentage of impressions that resulted in a destination click out of all impressions. So you want this to be as high as possible. Typically, you're going to want to see something between 3 to 5%. That is a decent click-through rate. Conversions. So if people have actually converted onto your website and they've done whatever goal that you've set in the campaign, that's why I told you to click the conversion section as your optimization event. Well, that'll show up here, and then it'll say cost per conversion. So how much did you spend in ads to get your conversion? Then you're going to see your conversion rate, or CVR, how many results you got, what the cost per result is, and then so on. So those are a few of the main KPIs that you're going to need to look at when you're analyzing your campaign, because remember, you're going to be analyzing it tomorrow at noon. So you can come in here again to the campaign and just look at your KPIs. I'm not going to go super in depth. I really just wanted to show you how to create your very first campaign. But if you're following along and you're still not seeing any results, it's probably time to stop looking at the ad settings and start looking at your KPIs, or your key performance indicators, because more often than not, the issue isn't actually your campaign structure, but it's your creatives. Let me give you an example. If your CTR, or click-through rate, is under 1%, your ad isn't doing enough to get people off TikTok and onto your site. That usually means that your hook isn't strong, or your creative just doesn't grab attention visually. Remember, TikTok users scroll fast. You've got less than 1 to 2 seconds to earn their attention. And if your ad doesn't stop the scroll, no setting in the world is going to fix a bad creative. So here's what you'll need to do. Rewatch your creative with fresh eyes, study other high-performing ads in your niche, and you can find these directly on TikTok by just filtering some settings. And then finally, keep testing new hooks, formats, and angles fast. Now, if you're getting clicks but little to no conversions, then you probably need to adjust your website and your offer. If you need help creating an offer that actually converts, well, I have a video on my channel for you to go and check out that covers everything you need to know in full detail. If you need help creating a Shopify store that's able to consistently achieve a 5% conversion rate, I've created a blueprint specifically for beginners that I want to share with you. So check out the link in the description.